Okay. Yes, please. Turn in with your research, which will be turned in just a second. Okay, so take out the schedule. I have very excitingly extended the schedule a little bit because I have a surprise guest speaker. So in Congress, before Congress votes on a bill, they bring in experts to question. I'm going to bring our own expert about Syria and the military to come and answer any questions that you might have about Syria. You can ask him, do you think this bill is a good idea? What about this bill is good? What about this bill is bad? You can ask him about Syria itself. You can ask him anything you want. Or her. Who knows? So could everyone under Thursday, next Thursday, it says Thursday 9/12 State Fair. Please put an arrow between Wednesday and Thursday and connect it to the bottom of your paper and put Thursday guest speaker. This has been amended correctly in homework now. So if you're confused, you can look at homework now. Thursday guest speaker. Then under Thursday State Fair, cross it out and put Friday. So where it says Thursday, State Fair, tribal do, all that stuff, just cross out the Thursday and put Friday. So all that is going to be due on Friday, not Thursday. Yeah. So. Okay. Yes, bring all your stuff in. Yeah. We'll miss you. Okay, then Friday it says debate. Oh, excuse me. Friday says debate. Cross that out and put Monday. So Monday is going to be the debate. Monday is going to be the debate. So we're back one day. Monday it says review day. Cross out Monday and put Tuesday review day. And then Wednesday will be the test. So everything's pushed back by one day so that I can get that awesome guest speaker in who's gonna rock. Who knows? I don't even know. I don't know. It's very hard to say yes or no. He will come, dressed with his credentials so you can see how awesome he is. Or she. Who knows? All right, let's talk about the project really quick. I want to make sure that all of you feel very supported in this project. A lot of you have been sending me emails, and that's fantastic. I really like that. But please know that I am available before school, and I am available after school. If you'd like to come in and we do the work together, that's fine with me. Also know that you are going to represent this state all year long. This research is done. It's finished. You don't have to do any more research about your state. Now kind of the fun part where you just get to represent your state is going to happen. So research is done. You guys have done the hard work. It's hopefully going to be turned in today. That's great. If it's not turned in today, please make sure it's turned in tomorrow so you don't lose too many points. So I'm here before school, I'm here after school. I'm going to talk about the tripod board in just a second. And when we get to the tripod board, if you would rather come after school one day and we can print pictures out together and we can kind of organize the tripod board together, that would be awesome. If you are struggling with a process paper or amendment and want to do that with me before school or after school, any day except Fridays. Friday I've got Kuna and KYA in the morning. You can do that. I would be really happy to do that with you. So please feel like you can send me an email, we can make an appointment, or you can just show up. As long as you get me at the beginning of, just maybe in class, tell me you're planning on staying. I'd be happy to stay with you. So please feel like whatever questions you need, don't stress about it. Thank you so much. Don't stress about it. Don't stress about it at all. We can figure it out together. Questions? Some of you sent me great questions. Hopefully I helped you out. what I'm expecting for this research, it can be beautifully typed like I've seen a lot of you already have, but it can just be kind of an outline with notes. That's fine also. Type will probably help you out in the long run because what I'm looking for is a lot of pictures with captions. So you can just take your typed words and turn them into little captions so you don't have to retype them. Okay, let's look at the trifold board really quick. It's a very simple outline. Thank you. 3 sections of your board. I've added a sample on the back to help clarify any questions you might have when making your board. The board needs to be colorful with a lot of pictures. The pictures need to be colored. If you do not have a color printer, you can either email them to me and I'll print them out for you, or just mount them and behind them put a colored piece of construction paper. Either one's fine with me. Again, you can email me pictures and I'll print them out. Each picture should have an explanation. If you have maybe 4 pictures or 5 pictures and in the middle of them there's a paragraph, that's an explanation to me. Okay, so if you go on the back, it says history of the state name. This is kind of the outline of the trifold board that I'm looking for. So on the left, you're going to have a little section about the history of your state. On the bottom, human environment interaction. In the middle section, you're going to have place. And on the left section, you're going to have history of voting. The way I would do these, first of all, is it's completely simple. So, for example, in my state, let's say beef is exported, I might have a picture of a cow. And under that picture, I could have beef is exported. And then maybe cars are imported, I have a picture of a car, and under it I put cars are imported. History of voting, I would suggest doing something like I outlined. So if the person votes for the bill, I would put like a big check. If he doesn't, I would put a big X. Or something like that, where you can just quickly look at the board and see how the person voted. Questions? Yeah.
So you have to have the same senator for all of our bills? Like,
if you have different senators, just put the name of the senator next to it. Yeah.
But it's cool that we have one senator.
Absolutely. Any other questions? So this will be due Friday. So new due date Friday the 13th. Yeah.
I had a question about, is this the way that the senator votes, or if it was passed or not?
I would rather, the way the senator votes. So if you did it wrong in research, no big deal, just go back and when you make this, do it right.
Alright.
If you want to put passed in general, also that would be interesting.
Okay, because there's a lot of things that like my senator didn't vote for, but it was passed.
Yeah.
And then there's things that she did vote for.
And it didn't, and it failed. That's good. Yeah. That's a really good point. I would love to see if the bill passed also. Thank you. Does everyone understand the basic outline of this? Is anyone feeling like the support that I'm offering is not going to be enough? Please keep eyes forward because this is kind of personal. Give me thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you think you're going to be okay with this? Okay, thank you. If you need me, you know where I am. Email me and any questions, and we can set a date to meet together. And even if you just would rather get it done in school and not at home, we can work that out. Healthy. Great question. Please don't get like the little itty bitty size that is like really cute, but you know, you could fit like one letter on. There's smaller, and then there's the kind of bigger ones. Either one is fine with me. You can get the smaller ones for $1 at, I think, it's either Dollar General or Dollar Store. But they're harder to fit all the information on. So as long as all the information's on the trifold board, I don't care. Good question. Okay, today is going to be an exciting day where we are talking about the Bill of Rights. Oh yeah, I know. You're pumped. You're pumped.
Oh, when you asked to turn in
Yes. No, I can't make you collect it. Lena, do you mind please collecting? Thank you. Also, is this anyone's? I think it's in this class. It was very well done, but it didn't have a name on it.
Oh, that's mine.
Okay, today we're talking first about. Sorry, go ahead.
If you check my Bill of Rights yesterday, that's when you turned it in.
Yes, please turn it in. I know both Morgan and Chad.
Fine, I think I already gave you
This, I gave you a script.
Can I email you mine?
For a better
I feel like it seems like
That's fine. Just please write on that paper you saw my Bill of Rights. Okay. In here there is. Oh, I didn't see that one. To work. Okay. To start out, sorry, Emily, go ahead.
my paper, I printed it out, but I can't find it, but I have it on here.
Send it to me. Okay. 8 Wadsworth at presentation academy.org. All right. To start out our conversation about the Bill of Rights, we have to talk about why we even needed a Bill of Rights. My objective, you're going to be able to explain the first 10 amendments. So, to ratify, to take the Constitution and turn it into law, we had to have 9 out of 13 states sign it, saying they're good with it. And we couldn't get that initially. There were two sides of the bill. There's Federalists and Anti-Federalists. We're going to be talking more about these two groups of people when we talk about political parties. So the Federalists became one party, the Anti-Federalists became another, although the values are a little bit mixed up. So the Federalists said the Constitution is good the way it is. The Constitution is good the way it is. By the way, I'm going to rock it tomorrow. You're not going to have to ask at all. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to blow you away.
Yeah, alright. Every day the rest of the year?
Tomorrow. Someone please remind me tomorrow. Okay, huge debate, Federalists, Anti-Federalists. The Federalists said Constitution's good. The Anti-Federalists said that the Constitution is bad because it doesn't give any rights to the states or to the people. By the way, these slides are on the Constitution PowerPoint. If you just want to take notes on that, that's fine, but if you have the notes, and I also posted it. We're not really going to go over this. When we talk about political parties tomorrow, by the way, so pumped, it's like my favorite lesson, political parties. But you do need to know, Federalists wanted the Constitution, Anti-Federalists said there's not enough power to the people. Power to the people.
These aren't on the, I mean, I guess it's on mine, but it's not in the one.
It's in the initial, it was a really long, very, yes.
I wouldn't have one.
It should have like the flag and the, no, yes, yes. I gave it to you on 8/28. I'll also post this on homework now. I think it already is. Awesome. Okay, so this is officially adopted finally after people agreed that the Bill of Rights was to be added. So after the Bill of Rights was added, ratification of the Constitution happened. New Hampshire went along with it, and yay, George happy. You see in a lot of states, there's more for and there's or more against. In some states, they're all for, and then in some states, there's almost someone half for or against. But eventually, it was ratified because of this Bill of Rights. So before we begin looking at this, you know what? I think I'm going to do this on Smart so you can actually see it. Okay. How do you remember the First Amendment? Does everyone remember? How do we remember the First Amendment? How do I remember the First Amendment? Good. The first. Rights. Good. What does the R stand for? Very good. A. P. Petition. P. Press. S. Good. So, in theory, we all have the right to whatever religion that we personally believe in, and we should all be treated equally, even if we believe in religions that the majority of the population don't believe in. Now, we can argue this. We can argue if this is actually happening. In our Socratic seminar, we talked about could today, in 2013, could we have a Muslim president? Could we have an Islamic president? We could also look at the treatment of a lot of people after September 11th, the shooting in the Sikh mosque in Wisconsin about a year ago, and we could say maybe we're not quite where everyone is equal as religion. Assembly, again, comes from the Tolerable Act, where the British told the colonies that we could not meet together, so we have the right to assembly. Petition, with social media, petition and assembly are not so important because we can gather across the world sometimes. But petition, we still have the right to petition. Press, the government cannot own the newspaper, cannot tell what the newspaper should write unless it is time of war. Then the government sometimes can censor the newspaper just a little bit. Speech, with some exceptions, we are allowed to say what we want to say. Now again, during the time of war, we have less rights, and we'll talk about that later. But for the most part, we can say what we want to say. Now I couldn't stand on this chair, take a megaphone, and start yelling about the steps that there is to make a bomb. I could not do that. That's endangerment. I can't also, yell fire in the middle of a really crowded volleyball game. That's also endangerment. So there's some limitations on these rights, but basically these are our rights.
So if you have limitations, like what's something like risky that I could say that I still wouldn't get?
If you were in public school, you could say some risque things probably. Now, a lot of court cases have gone to the Supreme Court over what people can say in a school, but your rights in a school are also limited. And coming to Prez, you have to abide by their rules also. You agree in coming to Prez that you're abiding by their rules. But that's a good question. Your rights as a student are diminished. Although there's this big court case called Tinker v. Des Moines, where students wore just black armbands to school to protest the Vietnam War. And the school suspended them for that and went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said if it's not super distracting and not violent, students have the right to represent things in school. Now there's also t-shirts. I think there was a t-shirt of an aborted baby that someone wore to school that he got kicked out, and the Supreme Court said that's not acceptable to wear in school. But yeah.
About the games of blood and grit, who decided that you couldn't wear a blue bandana?
That's a really good question. I don't know if there's a Supreme Court case about that, but yeah, you can't wear gang colors because it's endangering students, so there's gonna be fights. The first school I taught in, kids couldn't wear anything on their head and no bandanas, and they actually couldn't wear certain colors because there's local gangs and they would end up getting in big fights. But they got in big fights anyway. Second Amendment is the right to what? Bear arms. How do we remember this? We have two arms. Good. So, Second Amendment, bear. So, I remember this because I have two arms. I was supposed to be smiling. I'm failing at drawing on smartboards, I think. Oh well. So we have the right to bear arms. This is actually, we are the right to a well-regulated militia. I well, we're going to see a political cartoon later on about, well, are all the people in our country that have guns considered well-regulated militia? I don't know. Okay, the third amendment is no what? Good, we don't have to house any soldiers. This means we cannot be forced to house or quarter soldiers. So not in a time of peace and not in a time of war. I've got a weird way to remember this, and if you can come up with a better way, I will give you extra credit. Okay, I cannot think of a really good way to remember the Third Amendment this way. So it's no housing soldiers. And the way I remember it is like think of a teepee. And it has 3 sides, so that's my little house. Teepee with 3 sides. That's supposed to be a ponytail. It's never been a problem. I mean, it was a problem in the British colonies when we passed the Quartering Act and then the Intolerable Act. But after that, when the U.S. has become a country, that's really no problem.
It's kind of a long shot, but like, if you wanted to go with the no quartering, like a quarter is 25 cents, 5 minus 2 is 3.
Oh.
That's the Third Amendment.
Quarter is 25 cents. 5 minus 2 is 3. Oh, like 25 written this way. 52. What do you think, class? Should we reject it? Reject it, accept it.
Okay.
That's ideal.
Yeah. It's gotta be a cute little picture. I can't draw that. Fourth Amendment. This is a good amendment to know. There's been a lot of cases about this one. The Fourth Amendment protects people from unreasonable search and seizure. So I can't just be like, I think that one of you has marijuana in your locker. I have no proof, but I'm going to go through all of your lockers to see. I cannot do that because you have Fourth Amendment rights. Now again, in the school, your Fourth Amendment rights go down, and if there's reasonable, good, probable cause, then they can go through your lockers. Yeah.
And you go to school, so they check all the lockers?
Yes. Probable cause. As long as you think you have probable cause, you can go through it. I've had schools where drug dogs come through almost every day, yeah? So that way, if the drug dogs, like, are sniffing at a certain locker, that's probable cause they can open the locker.
Here at the school, if I was like, I shouldn't have to be in the locker, if I told you that, you have to go look her.
Typical. That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it's more than one person. That might be considered probable cause. I guess it just depends on your definition. Okay, the silly way I remember this one is the Fourth Amendment. Pretend you're searching around the room. Go like this. Pretend you're searching around. How do you do this? Most of you have your thumbs up when you're searching or down when you're searching, making 4 fingers. So you search with 4 fingers.
Volleyball.
Volleyball. Such a good movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Okay, so you search with 4 fingers. So let's see what color have I not used. Okay, so again, the way I remember this is here's a little person looking up.
You're really good at drawing.
Here's his 4 fingers. I apologize. unreasonable search and seizure. Now this has been really kind of contested. For example, there was a serial killer. It turned out he was a serial killer, but a man who was just a little suspicious. There's all these women in this town being killed, being attacked and then being killed. And the police broke into this man's house because he just seemed kind of off, and found that he had this big box of a little memories from each one of the women.
Oh my God.
Very creepy, right? So the police arrested him and they put him on trial, and his lawyer said they didn't have any concrete evidence to go in that guy's house. And the Supreme Court ruled with the serial killer, he actually got released. They couldn't come up with any other evidence besides this box they got from that seizure. Who watches Law and Order? Yeah, if you watch Law and Order, and I'm going to try to bring a clip in for tomorrow, watch the main guys or girls go to the judge and we want a search warrant. And the judge is like, okay, what is your proof? What's your probable cause that this person has, I don't know, a dead body in his car or house or something like that? Burn that.
How is that safe? Why wouldn't you just not have that?
Well, would it be okay if I just went in your house every day and just looked around? It's kind of creepy too. That's about if the police went into your house every day and looked around.
I really wouldn't change it.
I mean, I probably wouldn't either, but
If they found something, I think it would be there.
But couldn't they plant stuff and say that you did
oh, there you go. That's a good point, Riley.
Does this mean that anyone can get off a warrant to go into someone's house, like, it has to be a police?
It's gotta be the police. It's gotta be
Well,
the
if
police.
we didn't have this law, people still wouldn't be able to walk in your house. It would have to be police.
The police could just walk in anytime, though. Yeah. But if the police come to your house and they don't see anything physically wrong when you open the door and stuff like that, they cannot go into your house without a search warrant. They can go into your car because it's on wheels. But if you took the wheels off your car, that has been really hotly contested. There's a case right now about that, and I can't remember the details. Maybe Mr. House told me about it. No. And anyway, you live in a trailer home and the police want to search it, and the guy says, no, you can't search it because it's my home and it's really big. It's on wheels. Yeah, but it's officially on wheels, so it's a vehicle. So, there's confusing aspects to it. It also kind of ties into Miranda rights. Who has heard of Miranda rights? Who's seen a cop show? When they arrest someone, what do they start with? You have the rights. Yeah. That comes from another court case with another really creepy guy who was mentally handicapped, and when he was arrested, he just confessed to everything that he did. And the judge, his lawyer said he didn't realize that he was, and then they used the testimony, he confessed, we got it on tape. They used the testimony and freed him because they said you can't use that because he didn't know that he was incriminating himself. So criminals do have, oh, here's my cops going in with a search warrant. Again, there's a lot of court cases, so I would like a search warrant. He got information that he has drugs in his house. Okay, that's reasonable cause. You can have a search warrant. Fifth Amendment is a little bit difficult. Who's ever heard I plead the fifth? Beautiful. What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means? You can use it against your parents more.
You don't have to admit to anything, you don't have to say anything. You can't question me or anything anymore.
Good. It means I don't have.
It means I'm guilty.
Yeah. I do not have to accuse myself. So when I go on trial, I take an oath that I'm saying the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And so I can't really lie. So in a trial, I don't have to accuse myself. So I could say, when you ask me a question, I could say, I plead the fifth. I'm not going to answer that question because it possibly is going to accuse me of something. No?
Do they use that against people though, like they put it on this question?
It's suspicious. Yeah. Or incriminate is not
Well, they're like, what is your name? And I plead the fifth.
Don't have to accuse yourself. So, who's kind of followed the Trayvon Martin case? Or knows Trayvon Martin's name and what happened a little bit? George Zimmerman, the guy that shot Trayvon Martin, never had to take the stand because he didn't have, it would possibly be, he would be accusing himself. So with the questions they asked, he might have to accuse himself of something, so he never had to take the stand for that. Okay, so I remember I plead the fifth. If you can think of a better way to remember that, be my guest. Can offer some extra credit for that too, or a piece of candy maybe. Alright, what am I going for here? The other thing about the fifth, it's right here, it's right here. You may not be tried twice for the same crime. So let's say, yes.
I know of like a case, I don't know if it was like, I think it was in Louisville. There was like a guy and he was tried for like, he was on trial for like killing his girlfriend or something. But they couldn't find like any evidence, so they like let him go. And then a couple moved into his house and took up the floorboard and they found like the girl's body. So he couldn't go back to, it was double jeopardy.
Wow.
He can't go back and get tried for it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Or if they find another body, they could try him for that murder.
What about people who have retrials? Would they be able to talk him into being like having a retrial?
Usually a retrial happens when something illegal happens in the trial. So one of the attorneys does something illegal, or an amendment or a right was broken or something like that. Yeah.
Could you explain the David Cain trial briefly? Because we were so young when it first happened.
The what?
David Cain.
He's been retried like 4 times.
4? I feel like it's been 4.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been. Let me look into it. Let me look into it, get you the details, and we'll talk about it tomorrow.
He murdered
Was
two
it in
kids
Bullitt
and wife.
County? Yeah.
No, it was in Indiana, I think.
Oh yeah, it was. I'll look into the details and I'll get more information for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, like the murder in the cold bathroom.
The way this PowerPoint explains the 6th and 7th Amendment is confusing. The 6th Amendment says, let's say we arrest. Who should we arrest? Okay, Ashlyn, definitely Ashlyn. For punching her teacher. Not for government teacher, of course. And we say, okay, Ashlyn, we're going to keep you in jail for 40 years before we put you on trial. Is that fair? No. So it's a right to a speedy trial. And remember this, because 16 miles an hour or over, you're speeding. Speedy trial. We'll do 7 through 10 tomorrow before we do political parties. We're gonna rock it. You guys are doing awesome. Come to me if you have any issues. Please, please, please.